Hey friends, welcome back to the Mennonite Farmhouse channel. I'm Leanne, and in this video we are making pumpkin pie cinnamon rolls. Yes, you heard me right. We are going to take that pumpkin pie flavor that we all love, mix it in with cinnamon rolls that we all love. And we're going to top that with a maple frosting. So stick around and let's get to cooking. For our pumpkin pie cinnamon rolls, we need 2 cups of milk, a cup of pumpkin, a half a cup of oil, 1.5 teaspoons of dry active yeast, a tablespoon of salt, a half a cup of sugar, 1 egg, splash of vanilla, 6 to 7 cups of bread flour, a teaspoon of cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of ginger, a 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Into our stand mixer, we're going to add our milk, sugar, and our yeast. If you like to wait to see if your yeast blooms, you can wait 5 minutes at this step. But since I know my yeast is good, I'm going to continue adding in our ingredients. Then the oil and our canned pumpkin. I like to crack my eggs into a different bowl just to prevent any shells going in my dough. Then our spices and a splash of vanilla, which if you're measuring is like a teaspoon or more. It don't matter if you like vanilla. We'll measure with the spirit. Alright, let me get you in here closer. We're gonna spoon our flour into our cup. That way it doesn't get too heavy and your cinnamon rolls come out like bricks. And we don't want that. So I just spoon it in, then I level it off with a knife. So that's 1 and 6. We're gonna not put 7 in just yet because we want to incorporate the first 6 to see if we need any more. Depending on what type of day you're having, humidity wise and heat, it might not take 7. So then I leave the salt in till last. You could wait 10 minutes for let the milk and the oil hydrate the flour to get better results. I'm just going to pulse it for now. And then we're going to wait 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes, so we're going to mix, then knead it. So since it's not coming together at all, we're going to add another cup of flour to our mixer. We might have to add more than this, so don't fret. I'm going to grab a spatula and knock down the sides. There's flour hanging everywhere. This recipe comes to me from my church sister Wendy, and she's designed this recipe herself, and she modified it from her mother-in-law's recipe for cinnamon rolls. And I've shared that recipe before on the channel where I showed you how I make sticky buns for my bake sales. I'll leave a link to that video up in the iCards. I'm going to put in maybe a half a cup more and see where it gets us. I'm going to knock down the sides again, and you want the dough to pull off from the sides of the bowl. That's when you know you've added enough flour. And I think I've added enough flour. So we're going to knead this in a Bosch for 8 minutes. I've been told you can do it for 10 and not have to do 2 rises, but I want to do it the way you guys might do it. And I know not everybody has Bosch. If you can only smell this right now, it smells amazing. Absolutely amazing. I bet you can make monkey bread with this too. I mean, the possibilities with this dough are wow. Remove it from our bowl here. After I added all that flour, it's still a little sticky, but we're gonna work with it. You can always add more flour, you just can't take it out. So I'm just taking flour from my container and just rubbing my paddles here to get it off there, this bowl. You could also spray your hands with Pam. We're gonna spray our bowl with what little spray I have left. Alright. Let's get the machine out of the way and just plop her in the bowl. Now it all depends on how much flour you put in, is how much, moisture is in your pumpkin. I think that's the big factor here. It'll all be good. Now that I have it in the bowl, we're just going to let it roll onto itself. To knead it a little bit more. You can never over knead it by hand. Alright, we got it into the bowl. Isn't it lovely? Now we're going to let it rest for an hour. While our dough is rising, we're going to go ahead and make our maple frosting. So we want to add 6 tablespoons of butter. And 3 cups of powdered sugar to a bowl. You may need to double this or may not. I don't know. Then we're going to cream those together. Then we're going to add a half a cup of maple syrup. And I just have enough of my local maple syrup that I bought from a guy right up the road. And that's why I only made 1 batch of this frosting. If I need more, we're going to make cream cheese icing. Or caramel. That would be good on this. Then we're going to beat this well. Then I'm going to add a splash of heavy cream. I think I'll just add a little bit more cream. But doesn't that look scrumptious? Alright, I'm going to saran wrap this and set this aside. This video is part of Pumpkin Palooza, a collaboration hosted by Angela, the Inquisitive Farm Wife. I'll leave a link to her channel and all the other participating channels, and this is an open collaboration. So if you're a content creator, go ahead and make a video, something to do with pumpkin, and she will put you in the playlist. Just notify her by email or tag her in your video. Alright, it's been an hour and look at this. Look at this dough, isn't it beautiful? Now, I heard on social media the other day, if you want your dough to go out into a rectangle, to use a rectangle vessel to let your dough rise. Well, the only thing I have square is a dish pan, and I don't think it's clean enough. But let me get some flour on the counter here, since I just wiped it down a few minutes ago. Make sure it was very clean. this deflate. Then I'm gonna iron, yeah. I'm gonna put flour on my rolling pin. And we're gonna get this into nice cinnamon rolls. This is a baker's roller. This is for when your big roller can't tell the dough where to go. I think this is a nice rectangle. Then we're gonna add a stick of butter that's been softened. I just hope it's warm enough today to spread this out. It says it's 73 out, so it should be spreadable, right? All right. Next, we're gonna sprinkle on some white sugar, granulated sugar, and I want you to measure with your heart, or what the Lord tells you to do. The Lord's telling me to go lightly here with all the other sugar in this. So I think about a half a cup's plenty. Then we got our cinnamon. If you know me by now, watching the channel, you know I love my cinnamon. But you want to sprinkle high so it evenly coats, because cinnamon's good until it's just too much. It's time to roll them up. I just grab and start rolling. And then got pinch those air bubbles out. And I guess since I'm right-handed, right? Try to get a longer board so I'm not moving it so much. Now I'm going to spray my pans. That way I can share with the neighborhood. I also use these to sew with. I'm cutting them about 2 inches. I think I need a sharper knife. You can also use dental floss. I've tried that too. I bought this pan from Pepper Chef thinking that I could put these individual cinnamon rolls in here. So we're going to try it today. They're supposed to be for muffins, but I'm just like, I don't know if I could even eat a whole one of those. And this recipe, I don't even think you have to let them rise that much. I preheated the oven to 375 and I baked these for 25 minutes. As those cinnamon rolls are in the oven baking, I'm going to put this pan, saran wrap covered, in the refrigerator for at least 2 hours. Then I'm going to take them out and let them warm up a little bit, then stick them in the oven and let them bake. I'm just trying to get a feel of how I can bake so many at once, make so many at the same time, but you know, stage them into the oven because I only have one oven during a bake sale. Why is it taking me so long to make this recipe? I've had this recipe at least 5 years. Wendy gave it to me when I first started YouTube. and started selling my stuff at this bake sale. But I think it's time. I think it's time to show you how wonderful these things look. Oh my. I just don't know. Alright, do we get everything turned off? What do you guys think? I think I need to roll them out thinner. What do you think? Now we have the painstaking chore of letting these cool so we can frost them. Then wait for Howard to do a taste test. Well, good morning. I thought I was going to bake these after the live. I had my September giveaway last night, and I appreciate all of you that came and had fun, and some of you actually got to win some prizes. So I have my oven at 375, and we're going to bake these. And they look nicely risen, don't they? These just came out of the refrigerator. Since my frosting is a little stiff from being in the refrigerator, we're going to take the beater and just go to town and get it nice and fluffy again. I'm just going to loosen it up with a little milk. Now we're gonna put our maple frosting on our pumpkin cinnamon rolls. Not too much. I'm not a type of person that likes that much icing on a cinnamon roll. And I just love using my offset spatula to ice with. Alright, down you go. Go. They are definitely ready to come out. So we have a pumpkin pie flavored cinnamon roll with maple frosting.
Sounds good. Very good. Frosting's really good.
Well, thank you. Are you going to share that?
Share what?
I guess not.
You got one over there.
If you made it to the end of this video enjoying this soup recipe, why don't you watch this next? Take care and God bless.